The 9 most shocking recent archaeological discoveries that have stunned scientists. Archaeology has long been a fascinating field, offering mysterious discoveries about humanity's past. It is a profession that requires persistence, endurance, and a deep love for history. Each excavation is not just about finding artifacts, but about uncovering untold stories from thousands of years ago. Mysterious discoveries continually astonish archaeologists, from giant skeletons that leave scientists speechless to priceless burial goods that reveal once thriving civilizations. Not only that, but many strange pieces of evidence point to gruesome sacrificial rituals, offering a terrifying glimpse into ancient beliefs. All of these discoveries await us to explore and uncover their answers. In today's video, we will delve into the deep secrets of history, things that once seemed almost unbelievable. Let's dive in. 60-year-old dog remains preserved in perfect condition. Workers cutting timber at the Georgia Craft Corp were shocked and amazed when they discovered the remains of a hunting dog's head protruding from the middle of an oak log. What was most astonishing was that the dog's body had been perfectly preserved, fossilized for nearly 60 years without any embalming techniques like those used by the Egyptians. Experts believe the hunting dog became trapped while jumping through a hole in the tree, chasing some prey around the 1960s. Because the gap was narrow and high, the dog was never able to catch its quarry, and no one noticed to help it out. Unable to escape, the dog remained stuck in the trap and died there. The big question is, how could this dog's body remain perfectly intact after decades without any preservation techniques? To answer this, anthropologist Christina Kilgrove from the University of West Florida conducted an analysis and explained that when a body dies, bacteria in the gut begin to consume it, starting the decomposition process. This is the most unpleasant part, as the microbial organisms in the gut grow, multiply, and take over the body. The body will swell, decay, and bacteria, fungi, or other animals will appear to feast on the corpse. However, the key factor here lies in the oak tree itself, the cause of the dog's death and its accidental preservation. The oak tree contained tannins, which are used to treat animal hides and prevent decomposition. Tannins are a natural desiccant, meaning they have the ability to absorb moisture and dry out the surrounding environment. Kilgrove explained that in a low-humidity environment, these tannins inadvertently prevent microbial activity, which slows down the decay process. Additionally, the position and shape of the oak tree directed airflow upwards, so scavengers never detected the dog's remains inside the tree. The dog's remains are now on display at the Southern Forest World Museum, where researchers continue to study the natural desiccant that perfectly preserved the dog's body. 900-year-old mummy princess with intact hair. Archaeologists recently discovered the mummified remains of a woman, buried in the Arctic ice and wrapped in thick animal furs. What makes this mummy particularly remarkable is that her hair and eyelashes are still perfectly intact. Through research, archaeologists have determined that this mummy is 900 years old, and her face still retains rare, distinctive features that are haunting to many. It is believed that the woman was a princess who died at the age of 35 and was buried alongside nearly 30 other men in the area. The archaeological details of this mummy are truly astonishing, especially the preservation of her eyelids, teeth, and hair. The greenish hue on her face is due to contamination from copper fragments, which were thought to protect her as she transitioned to the afterlife. Further studies have concluded that she was a member of a medieval hunting and fishing civilization. Archaeologists are puzzled as to why she was buried in this particular location, as they initially believed it was a burial site for men. One theory is that she was a prominent member of society at that time, possibly the only female in this group. However, while her head has been incredibly well preserved, her body has suffered significant damage, appearing almost completely destroyed. Additionally, archaeologists have discovered the mummies of a few children nearby, though they likely have no connection to this woman. Professor Dong-Hoon Shin from Seoul National University noted, "There are 2 types of mummies in the world, artificial and natural. A prime example of artificial mummification is found in Egypt. Natural mummies are buried in specific environmental and climatic conditions, such as eternal ice or deserts. Preserved to such a high degree, the internal organs of these mummies remain intact, providing many fascinating insights for research." Chow 2-meter-long dinosaur fossil. Recently, a groundbreaking archaeological discovery has caused a stir in the scientific community as archaeologists uncovered a massive 2-meter-long dinosaur fossil weighing nearly half a ton in a vineyard village in southwestern France. This is one of the most significant discoveries in modern archaeology, and French scientific experts have classified it as a national treasure. The fossilized thigh bone remains in good condition, despite being around 140 million years old, dating back to the late Jurassic period. A thorough analysis revealed that the bone weighs 400 kilograms and likely belonged to a gigantic dinosaur. This is also the largest dinosaur fossil ever discovered in France. Scientists are currently comparing this bone with another thigh bone fossil found in 2010 to determine if they belong to the same individual. However, a popular theory suggests that this is the bone of a sauropod dinosaur, a species of long-necked, massive dinosaurs that could reach heights of up to 18 meters. These dinosaurs were omnivores and appeared during the late Jurassic period, about 150 million years ago, before going extinct during the Cretaceous extinction event in the Tertiary period. This recent discovery comes from the vast paleontological region of Angoulême, near the city of North Doux, where archaeologists and volunteers have uncovered thousands of fossilized bones in the early 21st century. Angoulême is not only famous for its vineyards that produce sweet-tasting wines, but also known for its thriving dinosaur ecosystem, as well as invertebrate animals and vegetation, all due to the humid subtropical climate millions of years ago. Therefore, this new fossil discovery not only affirms the significance of Angoulême, but also opens a new door in the exploration of the dinosaur world, helping us understand more about this mysterious and fascinating ancient period. Millions of bird mummies in ancient Egyptian tombs. In the ancient tombs of the Nile Valley, archaeologists have discovered millions of bird mummies, primarily of the ibis species. These birds were believed to have been sacrificed to gods with the heads of ibises, such as Horus, Ra, and Thoth. However, the origin of these birds remains a mystery. Were they wild birds caught during hunting, or were they purposefully raised, similar to cats, another animal found in Egyptian tombs for ritualistic purposes? Scientists at the French National Center for Scientific Research conducted an analysis of the mummies from the Fusion Museum in Lyon to solve this question. They collected feathers, bones, and internal organs from 20 bird mummies and analyzed their isotopic composition, including oxygen, carbon, nitrogen, sulfur, and strontium. The results showed that the isotopic composition of these birds was not uniform, with notable variations, indicating that they were wild birds. This supports the theory that the ibises flew to the Nile Valley during their migratory season, rather than being raised in a controlled environment like other ritual animals. Additionally, murals in tombs, such as the tomb of Nakht in the Theban necropolis, depict scenes of ibis hunting, proving that they were hunted by the Egyptians for centuries. Furthermore, the presence of both adult birds, chicks, and eggs in the tombs strengthens the hypothesis that ibises were hunted. This contrasts with the discovery of only adult cats in tombs. According to scientists, over time, the Egyptians actively hunted ibises and other predatory birds, causing their numbers to decline significantly. Today, only limited populations of ibises remain, living in rocky deserts such as those in Syria and Morocco. The mysterious Ming Dynasty treasure. Nearly 2 decades ago, in Hubei province, China, an incredibly strange tomb was discovered. The tomb became known as the Water Tomb due to the unusual circumstances surrounding it. What caused a stir in China was the belief that this ancient tomb concealed the treasure of a famous royal from the Ming Dynasty. In 2001, archaeologists accidentally stumbled upon this tomb. Upon finding the entrance, the excavation team encountered an incredibly rare and strange situation. Water constantly leaked from the stone door, sealing the entrance to the tomb's burial chamber. This suggested that the ancient tomb might have been submerged in water. Witnesses at the scene were stunned, as most ancient tombs were designed to prevent water infiltration and humidity. Why then did this tomb have water seeping out? Due to the tomb's unusual condition, a prolonged process of water removal was necessary, lasting 12 days. It took almost half a month for the massive amount of water inside the burial chamber to be fully drained. Once inside, the archaeologists could hardly believe their eyes. The tomb had preserved an incredible treasure, untouched for centuries. The statistics revealed that this tomb, dating from the Ming Dynasty, contained approximately 5,300 artifacts, including over 700 items inlaid with precious gemstones. Furthermore, many of the treasures in the underground vault were burial items believed to have been imported from foreign lands. The discovery of this valuable treasure made the tomb a hot topic of discussion at the time. Many believed the tomb's occupant was not just a noble, but possibly a royal family member. Some experts even suggested that the person buried there was closely related to the Ming Dynasty's royal family. So, who was the person buried with such an enormous treasure? After several days of studying the tomb's artifacts and consulting historical records, the identity of the tomb's occupant was finally revealed. As expected, the person buried in the tomb was Prince Liangzhuang, a young royal from the Ming Dynasty. Prince Liangzhuang's real name was Zhu Tianji, born in 1411 and died in 1441. He was the grandson of Emperor Chengzu Zhu Di, the ninth son of Emperor Renzong Zhu Gaoqi, and the younger brother of Emperor Xuanzong. Zhu Tianji was the first and only Prince Liang of the Ming Dynasty. Historical records describe him as a talented and scholarly man with a gentle and humble character who was dearly loved by both his father and brother. Prince Liangzhuang ruled for 17 years, dying in 1441 at the age of 30, and was buried at Mount Du Ling. As he had no sons, his title passed on with no heir. Therefore, the massive treasure, including gold, silver, and gems, was buried with him after his death. Prince Liangzhuang lived during the prosperous period of the Ming Dynasty, when Admiral Zheng He made numerous voyages to the west, bringing back many valuable foreign treasures. This explains the presence of foreign artifacts found in his tomb. The city of Lagash in Mesopotamia. This stunning discovery belongs to a research team led by archaeologist Emily Hammer from the University of Pennsylvania. After initial remote sensing data was collected using radar, revealing a mysterious world believed to be the legendary city of Lagash in ancient Mesopotamia, the scientists decided to send a drone to survey the marshland between the Euphrates and Tigris rivers in southern Iraq. The result was the discovery of a spectacular and vast scene, where the ruins indicated the existence of the lost city. Lagash was built on a massive scale, connected by 4 main islands and nearly 30 smaller islands, with the city primarily navigated by water. Some parts of the city were excavated over 40 years ago, but thanks to aerial photographs, scientists were able to witness the unimaginable scale of ancient Lagash, now known as Tel Ahiba, a city that existed 5,000 years ago. The drone images revealed the city nestled within a unique temple complex, and even how the ancients connected the islands to form a floating city, a concept almost unimaginable to modern humans. The entire structures they discovered span an area of 300 hectares. At its peak, this ghostly island city covered an area as large as present-day Chicago. This challenges previous assumptions by researchers who believed Mesopotamian cities were only small settlements. The reality, however, reveals that during the Stone Age, this civilization had planned a highly complex and organized city. How many other civilizations may have once existed on Earth that we have yet to discover? This remains a difficult question to answer. Coffin in a tree. Around the world, different countries have unique burial practices. For example, in Mumbai, India, vultures are allowed to consume the bodies of the deceased, as the local people believe this is a charitable act that nourishes the birds, and it also serves as a ritual to release the soul from its physical form. In Ghana, the deceased are buried in coffins decorated with intricate artistic designs, with the belief that death is not the end, but a continuation of life in another place. However, sometimes archaeologists discover human remains in the most unexpected places. In 2017, while construction workers were working on a project in Zurich, Switzerland, they discovered a woman buried inside a coffin made from a tree trunk. This was an unusual find, as the woman had been laid to rest 2,200 years ago. The coffin was so well preserved that researchers were able to learn many details about her. Through analysis, they determined that she died around the age of 40 and may have been a queen, as the examination of her body revealed she didn't engage in heavy labor. Additionally, a jar of starch and some fruits found in the coffin indicated that she enjoyed eating starch and sweet fruits. She wore a copper bracelet, a necklace with 2 gold stones, and a string of blue glass beads. This was not the first burial discovered in the Zurich area. In 1903, when workers were constructing a gymnasium, they found the remains of a Celtic man buried around the same time as the woman. Archaeologists believe these two individuals might have had a close relationship, as the man was placed in a tree trunk with a sword, a shield, and a spear. 1,000-year-old ancient Maya temple. Archaeologists in Mexico have made an astonishing discovery by uncovering a 1,000-year-old Maya temple at El Tigre, an archaeological site located on the Yucatan Peninsula. The temple, dating from 1000 to 1200 AD, was discovered as a two-story circular structure with a flat roof, creating a grand and mysterious image. Researchers believe this is a temple dedicated to the serpent god Kukulkan, one of the four most powerful deities in ancient Maya religion. Interestingly, Mexican authorities suspect this may be the temple mentioned in the records of Don Pablo Paxbolon, a Maya leader who led his people to settle in what is now Tabasco in the late 16th century. Paxbolon referred to four such temples in the area, each dedicated to one of the four main Maya gods. While the temples mentioned in Paxbolon's records have not yet been found, similar circular structures have been excavated on the Yucatan Peninsula, including in Edzna, Becan, Uxmal, and Chichen Itza. Archaeologists explain that these circular structures are usually linked to the early phase of the post-classic period, from 1000 to 1200 AD. During this period, the Maya civilization was connected with other regions of ancient Mesoamerica, particularly central Mexico, Oaxaca, and the Gulf Coast. It is known that the Yucatan Peninsula was one of the last settlements of the Maya before the civilization collapsed. To this day, the collapse of the Maya civilization remains a topic of debate among experts. The new discovery of the temple in the legend came amid Mexico's launch of the Tren Maya Railway project, a 1,600-km-long train route, which has expanded human knowledge in general and the understanding of El Tigre in particular for archaeologists. The 300-year-old ship filled with treasure. On December 4, 2015, an international team of experts, along with the Colombian Navy and a group of Colombian archaeologists, unexpectedly discovered the location of a mysterious ship deep beneath the ocean. Due to the technology available at the time, which was not advanced enough to directly access the ship, they decided to use an unmanned submersible to dive deep and photograph the wreck from a distance of 9 meters. They were astonished to discover a massive treasure inside the ship. After further study, experts confirmed that it was the San Jose, the legendary warship with 62 guns and 3 masts, owned by the Spanish royal family and lost long ago. More than 300 years ago, the San Jose was tasked with transporting treasure from the Americas to Europe annually, escorted by a fleet of warships on most voyages. However, in 1708, just before the ship was set to depart, the escort fleet was delayed, and the Spanish commander at the time, Admiral José Fernández de Santillán, decided to sail alone. While carrying treasure mined in Peru, including around 200 tons of gold and emeralds worth an estimated $17 billion, the San Jose became embroiled in a bloody battle with 4 British warships. The ship was surrounded and sunk, taking over 500 crew members and its enormous treasure to the deep ocean, where it disappeared. For centuries, treasure hunters attempted to locate the San Jose, hoping to seize the enormous fortune aboard. But all efforts failed as no one could remember the exact location and the ship lay too deep underwater. In 2015, the Colombian government finally discovered the ship, but only black and white photographs were taken. It wasn't until June 6, 2022, with the aid of advanced technology, that clear videos were taken, revealing many new details about the famous San Jose ship. The footage showed that the shipwreck appeared untouched by human intervention. The bow and hull were covered with algae and shellfish, along with cannons, a large number of ceramics, glass bottles, and even valuable gold pieces partially buried in the mud. The Colombian Navy stated that they are still closely guarding the wreck for future salvage operations. Additionally, they discovered 2 other wrecks near the site, one from the colonial era and another from the post-colonial period, with estimated treasure worth billions of dollars. There are at least 12 more sunken ships in the area that are planned for search operations. However, a legal dispute over ownership has erupted since the ship was found. In 2013, Colombia passed a law declaring that sunken ships in its waters would be considered national heritage. Colombian authorities have stated that they will work to raise the wreck and the artifacts to display them in historical museums. Meanwhile, Spain claims that the San Jose and its treasures are their national property, as it was part of the Spanish Navy when it sank and is protected under UNESCO conventions. Since neither side is willing to concede, the dispute remains unresolved. Indeed, archaeology always surprises us with discoveries ranging from things millions of years old to secrets of massive treasures. Which of the discoveries mentioned above do you find most interesting? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any other exciting discoveries. Now, goodbye and see you next time.